Real quick before this video starts, I just want to say a massive thank you to Zayreya for editing this video. He is also going to be editing the Raditude reaction later this week. Yeah, I greatly appreciate it. Link to his channel is in the description. And with that being said, enjoy the reaction. Hello everyone, welcome to the Human Reviews channel. And today we are continuing the Weezer discography with Red. I just finished listening to Make Believe about 10-15 minutes ago, and that is the weakest Weezer album up to this point by a fucking landslide. That album is such a massive regression, such a massive step back from the previous 4 Weezer albums, and it's like not even close, dude. Weezer started off on such a hot streak with Blue and Pinkerton growing on me after having heard them for the first time a couple years ago and not liking them, coming back to them and thinking they're great. Green, I think, is a little underrated, to be honest, and I find it to be a very solid, very fun pop rock album with some nice 60s throwbacks. And then you get to Maladroit, which is just a great excursion of a bunch of different rock sounds, where the band are exploring and experimenting a bunch of different styles and executing almost all of them in pretty great ways. Like, that album has turned out to be my second favorite Weezer album, which is pretty surprising. I have it over Blue. Then you get to Make Believe. That album is just as bad as people say it is. It is an inconsistent, incoherent, bland, colorless, poorly produced mess. 3 good songs are on it, though. You get 3 good songs out of the 12 tracks, so it's 1/4 good, probably like a third mid, and then like another quarter dog shit. Now we're on to Red. This album is mixed received, but better received than Make Believe is. Let me get it up on Album of the Year here. Yeah, this album isn't the best received. It's got a 60 critic, 58 user, but it's better received than Make Believe was, so it gives me a little bit of hope. Maybe we're gonna be going back into the good shit here. Yeah, this album came out in 2008. It is 10 songs, 41 minutes, about in line with the rest of the Weezer discography. We're not going to be doing the extended version, because fuck that. No, we're just going to be doing the standard edition with the 10 tracks. Not going to be doing the extended version because I don't want to judge it based on songs that aren't actually included on the album. With that being said, I am just going to get straight into this. Track 1, Troublemaker.
Put me in a special school, cause I am such a fool, and I will learn by studying the lessons in my dreams. So turn off the TV, cause that's what others see, and movies are as bad as eating chocolate ice cream.
This one also had Rick Rubin co-producing. Damn, this production's way better. Immediately. Okay. Why is Rivers Michael Gira on the cover? Yeah.
I'm gonna be a star, and people will crane necks to get a glimpse of me and see if I am having sex.
Yeah.
The singers in the other bands, I'm such a mystery, as anyone can see. There is 1999,
Really?
I party by myself because
Damn.
I'm such a special guy. I'm a troublemaker, never been a faker. I don't have the patience to keep it on me up. Keep it on me up. I'm a troublemaker. Keep it on me up. I'm a troublemaker. Keep it on me up. Troublemaker. Never giving up.
I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, that's the best Weezer song up to this point or anything like that. But oh my god, it's nice to get a well-produced song after that last album. Everything is actually dynamic. It doesn't feel like it's all being crammed in as tightly as possible. There's some space in this mix. The drum sounds are fantastic. These guitar tones are just as good as I'd expect from a Weezer album. And Rivers Cuomo feels like he isn't like holding back on his writing anymore. It feels like he's trying his best to actually have some fun with the lyrics here. That is a high 7 for me. Again, it's not a song I'd come back to on its own, but as an opener to this album, and especially having heard Make Believe as kind of a step back, I think that song works really, really well. It feels like the band are actually bouncing back in a pretty impressive way here. and it's giving me hope for the rest of this album. I would now give that around like a low 5. I mean, the song's okay, but I don't really see it as all that memorable of an opener to a Weezer album. I think I was just mostly impressed by the fact that it is such a big step up from a lot of the ideas presented on Make Believe, especially production-wise, but as an actual track returning to it, I just see it as a very forgettable cut. Up next, we have an almost 6-minute song, The Greatest Man That Ever Lived, Variations on a Shaker Hymn. Live performance. Do I reckon they like Oasis? I don't know. Cool.
You try to play cool like you just don't care, but soon I'll be playing in your underwear. I'm like a mage with a magic spell. You're giving me all that I desire, 'cause down with me I'm taking you high. I'm the baddest sex you've ever had. I'm the tops, I'm the thing. All the girls get up when I sing, yeah. I'm the you are.
Okay, so we've made our bounce back, but I feel like we bounced a little bit too far back. Now we're getting too silly with it. I've got the lyrics up. What? I have no idea what that is.
Somebody said, all the world's a stage, and each of us is a player. That's what I've been trying to tell you. If you don't like it, you can shove it. But you don't like it, you love it. So I'll be up here in a rage, till they bring the curtain down on us.
Yeah, I respect the ambition of the song, but none of this works. None of this works. So, oh fuck, Pork and Beans up next. That song felt like a bit too much of a step in the opposite direction, where Make Believe felt like it was the band regressing and not fully committing to any ideas. That song felt like it was too committed to its ideas, and it got to the point where it became extremely cheesy and kind of annoying. I feel like every idea on that song, despite the fact that they fully committed to it, was worse than the last. Every idea was more annoying than the last. Every single instrumental choice, every single switch up just ended up confusing me more and more and more until it got to the point where I just kind of stopped trying to make sense of the song and I just let everything happen. Look up the Wikipedia article under composition, it makes more sense. It contains 11 segued verses in total. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Cuomo questioned how practicing Vipassana affects his music. I'm probably saying that wrong. Says that the song is a lot different from any he has previously written. It's the most ambitious song I've ever attempted. It took me a few weeks of writing, and lyrically, it's a huge departure for me. I have a long history of writing songs from a victim type of place, and in this I'm bragging. In order, the themes are rap, Slipknot, Jeff Buckley, Coral, Aerosmith, Nirvana, the Andrews Sisters, Green Day, Elvis, Bach, Beethoven, and then Weezer. Weezer fans dinner party on SNL. I've seen that before. So it's got Matt Damon in it, right? That's the one with Matt Damon, I'm pretty sure. Seeing the actual structure of the song in front of me does actually make me appreciate it a little bit more. I do actually kind of see what they were going for, doing like a big medley of all of these different bands. But none of it comes together. It still feels like a tonally inconsistent mess that is very sloppily paced. The switch-ups are just like, you know, it feels like the band clapping in your face, being like, hey, keep paying attention, switch up. And it's just annoying. I'm feeling a solid 3 on this song. I don't hate this one nearly as much on re-listens. It's not all that memorable. Again, I do feel like the track does kind of get lost in its ambition a little bit, but I do think it has some genuinely pretty compelling moments, and the actual medley aspect of the song is interesting enough to keep me engaged all the way throughout it. I'd give this one like another solid 5, I think. Not a bad track, not a good track either, just straight down the middle. I think it's a decent attempt at what they were going for here. Pork and Beans.
They say I need some Rogaine to put in my hair. You'd hate for the kids to think that you lost your cool. I'ma do the things that I wanna do. I ain't got a thing to prove to you. Excuse my manners if I
Oh,
make
Jesus
a
Christ.
scene. I don't give a hoot about what you think. Everyone likes to
You know, my mum plays this song a lot. My mum listens to Weezer a lot, but she plays this song in particular a lot. And, you know, hearing it through an Alexa, it's kind of like, oh, that's a nice, kind of catchy song. Hearing it with headphones, hearing the production, hearing how incredible the mix is here, and how incredibly laid and how actually heavy this song is, makes me appreciate this a million times more. This shit sounds incredible.
dance to a happy song. Timberland knows the way to reach the top of the chart. I'ma do the things that I wanna do. I ain't got a thing to prove to you. One look in the mirror and I'll take a break. I don't give a hoot about what you think. I don't care.
The song that got you into the band? It is kind of like a good entry point for Weezer, I guess. It's got like the best of the production, it's got the best of the silly lyrics. Damn, that was great. Yeah, again, I've heard that song a lot. That's one of the Weezer songs that my mum plays the most, but man, hearing it with an actual decent pair of headphones, getting to hear all of the incredible production elements, how layered this is, how actually heavy this is, on top of having the experience of, you know, understanding how catchy this song is and how easy it is to get it stuck in your head. It really makes me appreciate this song a million times more than I did before. Hearing it just based on, you know, hearing it in passing, I would have given it like a 7. Now I would give this like a low 9. This shit is amazing. Wow. That is exactly what I want out of this album. If the rest of this album can even like a little bit live up to how good Pork and Beans is, we might be onto another heater of an album here. Up next we have Heart Songs.
Gordon Lightfoot sang a song about a boat that sank in the lake at the break of the morning. A cat
That's what I'm saying. We need a Weezer conspiracy.
he could believe in Joan Baez. I never listened to too much jazz, but Devo, Benatar were there the day John Lennon died. This
Speaking of a Beatle dying,
said he had a hungry heart. Grover Washington was happy on the day he talked.
he was killed in college. Exactly.
These are my heart.
Wait, really?
Never feel wrong.
Oh yeah, I said it here as well. That's so fucking funny. That is a great one.
Quiet riot
Not sure how I feel about the little flourishes of programmed drums in there.
my head. Some keep singing. Back in 1991.
Yeah, I like that we get something that's a little more soft after Pork and Beans. It's really building up to a heavy outro here, but the fact that the first, what, 2/3 of this song are as slow as they are.
Got together with my bros in some rehearsal studios. And we played our first rock show and watched the fan base start to grow. Signed, come on.
Weezer Brown album? No, that's Ween are the only band that gets access to the color brown.
These are my heart songs. They never feel wrong. And when I wait for goodness sake, these are the songs I keep singing.
Primus made a brown album?
These are the songs
Shit. Okay, Ween and Primus. They're basically the same band anyway, let's be real.
These are the songs I keep singing.
Hey, album's keeping up the pace after Pork and Beans. I feel like that song maybe suffered from slight pacing issues, but still, I think that is a delightful slowdown after Pork and Beans. A lovely, heartfelt track about singing songs that come from his heart. And I really appreciate it. I like that we're getting something that's a little more soft, a little slower, a little more easy on the ears, that feels like it more builds up to its crescendo rather than being a big blaring rock song like Pork and Beans is. It is a low 8 for me. Low 8. Minor pacing issues that hold it back a tiny little bit, but I'm not going to care on a casual listen. So, those pacing issues only really became more apparent on further listens for me. I'd give that song closer to like a low 6 at this point. It's, again, still a very sweet, heartfelt track, but that you can really feel how slow the song is returning to it. Yeah, shrunk on me a little bit, still okay, definitely not bad, but yeah, not as good as I originally thought it was. What's the target audience for this album? Middle schoolers? Well, the fact I'm now an adult and I'm enjoying this, I would have hated this when I was younger. I'm trying to imagine like 15-year-old me, 14, 15-year-old me listening to this. I would hate this. This feels like the type of thing that I grow to appreciate when I'm a little, when I've, gotten a little bit older, when I'm now an adult. I feel like this is the age where I'm going to appreciate this the most. Everybody Get Dangerous up next.
When I was younger, I used to go and tip California. After they throw up mailboxes with the baseball bat, go for the wrecked hits. On Halloween, you can put amplifiers and mic stands. Everybody get dangerous. Everybody get dangerous. Yeah. Everybody get dangerous. Everybody get dangerous. Yeah. I got a confession that I will make if you will.
It does just sound like Red Hot Chili Peppers, doesn't it? Maybe ignore the lyrics.
Like we're evil forces.
What?
Games on pros and cons, no safety pads were ever put on. Everybody get dangerous. Everybody get dangerous. Oh, yeah.
Straight up, you replace Rivers Cuomo with Anthony Kiedis, and you told me this was a Chili Peppers song, I would believe you. The drums feel so Chad Smith with the way the ghost notes are implemented. The production on the guitars feels very John Frusciante, especially with like the little stabs that come in the left channel. And even like the bass, it doesn't feel like exactly like Flea, but it feels like parts that Flea could play if he wasn't trying quite as hard as he does on a lot of Chili Pepper stuff.
Everybody get dangerous.
You could tell me this is a Chili Pepper song if Anthony Kiedis was on it. Oh, Brian sings the chorus? I didn't notice that. Yeah, they don't sound like this section. This section sounds different. But on the verses, it sounds very Chili Peppers. I want to do some Red Hot Chili Peppers albums at some point.
Get dangerous. Everybody get dangerous. Everybody get dangerous. Yeah. Dangerous.
What a strange transition. I can hear a pretty good song in this, but it's not quite that. Yeah. I'm very, very torn on that song. Half of me sees it as a very dumb, fun, just ridiculous rock track with a little bit of hip-hop influence. And the other half of me sees it as an absolute abomination that should never see the light of day. And these two sides of me, it's like having the angel and the devil on my shoulder. I'm deciding which one I want to go with. It is a fun song. It's like a fun bad song. It's not good. I cannot defend a single bit of this song, but it's very fun. I'm feeling like a solid 5 on this. I absolutely stand by this being a fun bad song, but I don't feel like I emphasize the bad enough. This song is like a high 3 for me now. It is annoying, but it's still pretty fun, okay? It's kind of a silly track, okay? I do enjoy listening to it, even if it is fucking terrible. It's not good, but man, it's so fun, it's so ridiculous that I don't think I would skip it listening to the album. That's my thought process with this song. Up next we got Dreamin. This one's 5 minutes.
I'm dreaming in the morning, I'm dreaming all through the night. And when I'm dreaming, I know that it's alright. Daddy says I gotta pay some bills so I can learn to be responsible. Someday I'll have a family of my own. Know that it's okay.
Can't say hi for a picture, you're getting your picture taken.
Teacher says I gotta learn some facts here, then they might sing. There are bluebirds in the meadow, and the bees
Who is this singing?
flying around.
I'm gonna take a guess and say it's Pat, the drummer Pat. Am I right? Brian, shit.
Running through the meadow, and the sun is shining on me. And the angels in the heavens, why am I so glad? Why am I so glad? I'm dreaming in the morning, I'm dreaming all through the I don't wanna get with the program. I don't wanna get with the program. I don't wanna get with the program. Take back the road.
This song kind of reminds me of The Greatest Man That Ever Lived and a lot of the problems I had with that track, just to a slightly lesser extent. I feel like this song actually has moments where I'm actually kind of moving to it and I'm able to kind of see the bigger picture of the track, but for the most part I still see it as an inconsistent mess. Such awkward transitions between each of the phases. They're so abrupt, you don't really get a second to think. The writing on this song is so up and down. There are moments where I think the writing is actually pretty heartfelt and where I can actually kind of see what he's going for. And then there are other points on the song where I just see some of these lines and it's just as bad as the writing was on Make Believe. I am feeling a low 4 on this one. It's definitely better than The Greatest Man That Ever Lived, but I certainly wouldn't put that song anywhere like above a 5. I think that song really does just kind of have all of the same problems, just to a lesser extent. Up next we have Thought I Knew. And by that I mean my mum's calling me. 1 sec.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Jack, guess what? This time it's not my brother that forgot his key. My mum forgot her key. I will be right back again.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Alright, thought I knew. God, my hair is so messy today. Do the album with Africa. If it's on one of their official albums, then yeah.
Sorry if I caused you pain. Sorry I forgot your name. Sorry
Exactly, put Rivers back on, yeah.
caused you harm. You didn't end up in my arms. Thought I knew you better then. Blew out the spark. And now we're left with
How's the Weezer journey going? These are the two weakest albums, easily. Red's better than Make Believe, definitely, but these are the two weakest. That's cold, that's cold. Man, this song really goes nowhere, huh?
not a single damn thing was true.
So, this song has the most bland instrumental, easily, has the weakest writing, most uninteresting writing, most lack of imagery writing ever, and you have just a worse vocalist than Rivers doing the entire song. That's pointless. That song serves no purpose. I'm feeling a high 3. It doesn't serve a purpose on the album. Next up, Cold Dark World.
Watching girl from the back of my car. I see you unsure of the place that you are.
I see. Power electronics, the genre? That rings a bell, yeah.
See the girl, I can console you and give you a kiss. Show you that you can. Angel girl, in a cold dark world, I'm gonna be your man. Angel girl, in a cold dark world.
No, I think Dave Grohl's also a strong vocalist. Dave Grohl's a very strong vocalist.
Thinking I'm trying to score, but deep in your heart, you know that I'm more. The cold dark world.
Nice to know the writing hasn't improved. If Rivers did this, it'd kind of suck. I feel like... Who is this on vocals?
All the trash that is sweeping you under the rug.
Scott? Scott's right, okay. I feel like his vocals do serve this song a little bit better than I think Rivers' vocals would, but I still don't think they're all that good. Which one is better, Make Believe or Red? Easily Red. I'm not crazy on Red, but Red, definitely. Yeah, I know he did drums for people, so he's done drums on a bunch of different things. But I also think he works really well as a lyricist. Well, sometimes as a lyricist, and I think he has a great voice. His matches are... Yeah. This guy does sound similar to Rivers, yeah. Yeah, and then you have Rivers on the backup here. What do I think of the synth here? I wasn't even paying attention to whatever the synth was doing, I can't lie. I was more focused on the vocals and, like, the really awkward guitar. Let me go back and see what the synth was doing. Oh, you get this little solo bit here. Yeah, like, I don't know. Oh yeah, no. Jesus Christ. I was more focused on the vocals and the guitars. I didn't even pick up on how dog shit the synths were sounding. See, that's what happens when a song has so many awkward elements. I struggle to focus on all of them. It fits? I don't think it does. I think, well, I guess it does fit because it adds to the clunkiness, if that makes sense. It makes sense given the context of how unconfident everything else sounds. It just adds to, like, the very awkward, just lack of conviction that this song has. I am feeling like a flat 4 on that one. It's a little bit better than the previous song. Has its highlights, but, like, the writing is terrible. I think Scott Striner's vocals fit this song a little bit better than Rivers would, but they don't make much of an improvement. And there's just so many awkward instrumental choices throughout this that just make me turn my nose away immediately. Oh, the back half of this album's rough. Up next, we have Automatic. Alright, we got Pat on this one, okay. I guess so, yeah. That does seem like what they were going for. But I just don't think it really reaches that all that well. Really? You get finally some great vocals, and then you have this goofy ass robot backing vocal to just make it sound just as bad as the previous two. Wow.
It's automatic when you feel it. Get to see the world inside your eyes. How can I reach out?
I can't complain too much. It's like a tiny piece of the song. It's not that big a deal. Riddler from the Batman looks like Rivers. What, Paul Dano? This is easily the best song of the second half. Easily. Yeah, it's like not even close. This is the best song of the back half of the album. I'm feeling a solid 7 on that. The awkward robot vocals on the chorus do definitely break the tension a little bit in the song. And, you know, I do have to say that I'm still not the craziest on the rating on this track. But Pat Smear's vocals... Pat Smear, that's... Wrong Pat, wrong band. Pat's vocals are great on this song. I feel like of the three non-Rivers singers, he is easily the best. This song kind of brought back the fun and the heaviness that was missing on the previous two and actually felt well balanced. It didn't feel like it was doing anything corny or cheesy to bring the song down besides the robot vocals, but they weren't that big a deal. Yeah, the song's a big improvement on the previous, what, like 3-4 songs? A very nice bounce back. A very, very solid bounce back. Pretty good song. Alright, final track, The Angel and the One. Get a slow one to close it. Same as the previous album.
Why I have to go but want to stay here.
Yeah, Rolling Stones gave this one a 60.
Sometimes I want to taste, but then I don't know what I'm saying. You are the angel and
I disagree with Rolling Stone. Well, I disagree with Rolling Stone that this is worse than Make Believe, but I kind of agree with their take on the album.
I see the ecstasy, and already I'm anticipating. I feel a deeper peace, and that deeper peace is penetrating. I'm flying up so high, my purple majesty displays.
Nice. Getting actually a nice anthemic, pretty emotional chorus here.
No one else can make a claim.
prefer the 1 to 100 rating scale, and I prefer the way you rate tracks on Album of the Year. That's like my biggest gripe with the Letterboxd, is that it's a out of 5-star rating scale. I like getting specific with my ratings. I like doing decimal ratings, and it looks better. Yeah. Just great guitar work here. This song is able to soar because it feels like the band are like finally taking themselves seriously. These past 2 songs are a fantastic bounce back. I feel like these might have elevated this out of being in the negative, like the whole album. I feel like these 2 songs are kind of gonna prevent me from giving it anything lower than a 5. Listening to any bonus? I'm not really too fussed on the bonuses, I can't lie. Make believe is what happens when you take yourself way too seriously. Yeah, and a lot of the second half of this album has felt like it's overcompensating in the other direction, where they're not taking themselves seriously enough. But these 2 songs feel like they've kind of, you know, finally regrouped, and they've been like, okay, we're gonna take the song seriously, but we're not gonna take ourselves too seriously. You like reviews on Album of the Year more than Rate Your Music because Rate Your Music uses type out a novel or it'll get deleted. But on Album of the Year you can make a joke and you'll be okay. The Album of the Year interface is more friendly. Sometimes I like writing novels, and sometimes I like writing little joke reviews. But yeah, I do prefer writing reviews on Album of the Year as well, yeah. Some ambient shit right here. Yeah, I do think that the long outro does actually work here. Does it seriously end with 20 seconds of silence? Yes, it does. Interesting. Interesting. That song was great. That is one of the best songs on the album, easily. That song is a step up and an incredible bounce back that is what is bringing this album out of being in the negative for me. I'm feeling a solid 8 on that song. Yeah, that song felt like an actually emotional, heartfelt closer that is the perfect balance of the band not taking themselves too seriously, but taking the songs seriously. Where it feels like Make Believe they were taking themselves too seriously. This album, the second half of this album, they were not taking the songs seriously. And now we have finally regrouped and we found that middle ground again. It's a great, epic, emotional swell to end the album off on. I think that the pacing is fantastic. The big, sweeping scale that they go for is actually executed basically perfectly. Yeah, I think that that is the closer that this album needed. It is a solid 8. Solid 8. It definitely is the thing that's keeping this out of being in the negatives for me. This really does bring up this album a decent bit. It'd be nice to still listen to the bonus songs. I don't really want to listen to them just for the sake of it, though. I feel like I'm not going to be fair to them if I'm not really in the mood to listen to them. They're less silly. But I feel like I don't just want to do them for the sake of doing them. I feel like I'm going to be unfair and I'm going to be a little more mean. I feel like just for now, I'm going to leave it at the album, but I could come back to them in the future. I could come back to them in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Red. This album is better than Make Believe. Definitely better than Make Believe. I feel like this album actually contains a good handful of pretty good songs. In fact, I'd say, half the track list here is good songs, where the production is a massive step up. The tone that the band are taking is way better. It feels like they've injected so much more color and life into these songs. The performances across the board feel like they're finally taking the songs seriously and not taking themselves too seriously. Like, this album has 5 songs that are basically everything that I feel like is required out of this album for it to be great. And then there's 5 songs that are not good, that completely fumble the pacing, that feel like they're just, like, throwing all of their care out of the window, and they aren't even taking the songs seriously or themselves seriously, so you just end up with these absolutely ridiculous clown shows of songs. Like, man, this album really hit such a lull moving into the back half that was just so unfortunate. Like, there was so much potential for this album to be really, really great, but it's just 50% of the track list. It feels like the band just didn't really know what direction to take it, so they just went as silly as possible, and it just made everything feel so meaningless, like there was no real reason for any of these songs to exist besides just being piss takes. So, I am going to add up my scores, and I will tell you what my overall score for this album is.
2 very boring minutes later.
Okay, I am feeling a 6.2 out of 10 on this album. 6.2. Considering the fact that Make Believe got a 4.2, this is 2 whole points better than that album was. The score has gone up by 2 entire whole points, which is good. That's good. That's a big step in the right direction. Yeah, about that massive step up and those 2 whole points increased. This album has shrunk on me a little bit with, new scores counted and just further listens, hearing how the album flows, listening casually and stuff like that. I still think the album is okay. It's certainly, like, a pretty decent step up from Make Believe. But as is, I do think this album is a little bit weaker than I initially gave it credit for, and I just see it as kind of a very forgettable release at this point. It is a 5.6 out of 10 for me now. Not the biggest step down, certainly not going into the negatives or anything like that. It's just a very meh release for me. We have Ratitude up next, which I'm pretty sure is gonna suck, but you know what? Maybe I'm gonna hold on to the delusion that this album is marking a step back in the right direction and that we're gonna carry on with this trajectory. Maybe I will be the only person on the planet who loves Ratitude. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, this album, I can't complain too much. The highs are really, really high. It has some pretty low lows, but you know what? It's in the positive, and that is better than I expected. 6.2 out of 10. It's an okay album. Easily second worst Weezer album up to this point, but still, can't complain. It's better than Make Believe, so. Well, to your last comment. Oh, what are my hopes for the next 2 Weezer albums? I guess I'm just gonna say the same thing that I said last time when you asked that question. It's that don't be as bad as people say they are. I just don't want them to be as bad as people say they are. If Ratitude is really that bad, it's gonna be miserable. If Hurley is really that mid, it's going to be miserable. But I'm going in on borrowed trust from the first 4 Weezer albums, and even Red a little bit, hoping that I enjoy them more than other people. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think of this album down below and how it compares to other Weezer albums for you. Join the live streams if you haven't. We film all of these reactions live. We are doing the Weezer albums in batches of 2, so make sure you stop by and to give your opinions in the chat live. Like and sub if you haven't. We're on our way to 3K. Links in the description to my Discord, my album of the year, my Twitter, and my other channels. Check those out if you haven't. And I will see you all whenever our next streamer upload. Bye bye.